Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Gonzalez, and thank you to the Doña Ana Historical Society. Your arguments today do not convince me. Your presentations do not convince me. I stand by what I said when you first presented. It's not the money. I mean, if we had $500,000 to put into our community schools, it would be wonderful. But we don't have that kind of money to throw around. Just finding out right now that the New Mexico Department of Transportation will not put a penny into it is more of a deterrent to change the name from Motel Boulevard to Iván Magdalena Flores. That would really draw a lot of interest, and all of you are probably going, who the heck is that? Well, that's me. That's how insignificant I think Pat Garrett is. And with all due respect to that history, there was a historian who came down or said that historians don't claim him, and I don't know if I understood him correctly, but it was Albert Fountain who defended Billy Garrett, and it was never determined. There wasn't enough evidence to show that he, in fact, was the murderer of whoever it was he murdered. But the point, though, is that Albert Fountain defended him. And as far as J. Paul Taylor's letter, maybe we should name a boulevard after him. I think he's far more significant, stands for a lot more, and he himself is, his mother was Mexican, I believe. Yes, his mother was Mexican, so that would be the historical, and also he's brought so much value to our community. So when you're thinking of a change of a name, I mean, the name I proposed and would really be eye-catching would be El Tratado de Guadalupe Hidalgo, to find out exactly what our history is all about in this part of the world. And I will restate my comment that I find it offensive to still refer to this as the Wild West. It wasn't wild. It wasn't discovered. It wasn't until the white man came that all of a sudden this became somehow an important part of the world. It was already an important part of the world for people that were already here. And it wasn't the Wild West to them. It's all a matter of perspective. I said this last time and I'll say it again. It was this whole notion of manifest destiny that we're still living with. And it's very, very offensive for me historically, because there's very little doubt in my mind that most of us who claim to be of Spanish origin or French origin are probably primarily indigenous people who were colonialized. So I agree 100% with what Councilor Vasquez prepared and stated beautifully. He expressed my sentiments exactly, and I disagree with Councilor Sorg, who said it was $50,000 he might go with it. I wouldn't put a nickel into the change for Motel Boulevard. Is Motel Boulevard an ugly name? Absolutely. Would I change it at this point? No, absolutely not. I received several letters from constituents, and I think they were circulated to, not my constituents, but residents in that area, business people. Those letters were circulated to all councilors. And those letters talked about how it would be devastating for their businesses to undergo the name change, post office deliveries, et cetera, from contractors, deliveries from contractors, and that sort of stuff. So for all those reasons and probably more, if my passport hadn't been confiscated by La Migra on Saturday, I'd stay here and talk another 20 minutes about how I don't like the name change at all for a lot of reasons, because I have to go pick up my passport and probably sue the U.S. government for it. But that's my story, and I will be voting no on this item. Thank you very much, Ms. Gonzalez.
Okay, Councilor Gondara.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms.